Have you ever missed someone's last birthday because you thought there'd be more? My grandfather texted me 3 weeks before his 73rd birthday. Dinner at my place on the 18th? Just us. I was staring at a spreadsheet when the message came through, halfway through a presentation deck that was due in 4 hours. I typed back, maybe, work is crazy right now, and went back to my pivot tables. He sent a second text immediately. Please try. Been thinking about some things I need to tell you. I screenshot it to send to my work group chat with the caption, Grandpa guilt trip activated, and 3 crying laughing emojis. Everyone replied with their own grandparent stories. My coworker Destiny said her grandmother did the same thing every year, and it was always just her wanting to show off her garden. I filed the text away mentally as something I'd figure out later. There were always more birthdays. He'd had 72 of them already. What was one more? The 18th fell on a Thursday, and my boss Garrett scheduled an emergency client meeting that morning that bled into the afternoon. By 6 p.m., I was still in the conference room with laptops spread across the table and half-eaten sandwiches on paper plates. My phone buzzed with another text from my grandfather. Still planning on tonight? Made your favorite pot roast. I looked at the client presentation that was maybe 60% done, and the 3 people still working beside me. I texted back, rain check? This project is eating me alive. Next week for sure. He responded with just okay, and I felt a twinge of guilt. But I was already back in the spreadsheet fixing a formula that wasn't calculating right. Destiny leaned over and saw my screen. You're bailing on Grandpa dinner? She asked, and I shrugged. He'll understand. We'll do it next week when I'm not drowning. That night at 11 p.m., I finally left the office and drove home. My apartment felt too quiet when I walked in. I heated up leftover Thai food and ate it standing at the counter while scrolling through my phone. My grandfather hadn't texted again, which was unusual because he normally sent follow-up messages with photos of whatever he'd cooked. I opened our text thread and looked at that okay from earlier. It felt different now somehow, more final than it should have, but I was exhausted and my eyes were burning from staring at screens for 14 hours. So I went to bed and told myself I'd call him tomorrow to reschedule. Tomorrow turned into the day after, which turned into the weekend, which turned into Monday when Garrett assigned me to a different project that needed immediate attention. My mom called me on Monday morning while I was in line at the coffee shop near my office. Have you talked to your grandfather lately? She asked. I ordered my latte and stepped aside. Not since last week. Why? She sighed loud enough that I heard it clearly over the espresso machine. He's been asking about you. Said you were supposed to come for dinner on his birthday but canceled. The barista called my name and I grabbed my drink. I didn't cancel. I just postponed. Work has been insane. I'll call him today and set something up. My mom made that clicking sound with her tongue that she does when she's disappointed. You should make time for him. He's not getting any younger. I promised I would and hung up. But by the time I got to my desk, there were 47 emails waiting and the grandfather call got pushed to my mental to-do list. Wednesday afternoon, my phone rang with my mom's number and I almost didn't answer because I was in the middle of a code review. But something made me pick up on the third ring. Your grandfather's in the hospital, she said. No greeting, just straight to it. My hands went cold around the phone. What happened? She explained that he'd collapsed at home that morning and his neighbor found him when she came to borrow sugar. The ambulance took him to St. Catherine's. The doctors were running tests, but it looked like a stroke. I was already grabbing my keys and laptop bag. I'm leaving now. Which floor? She gave me the information and I heard her voice crack when she added, they're saying it's bad. You should hurry. I ran to the parking garage and my hands were shaking so badly, I dropped my keys twice trying to unlock the car. The drive to St. Catherine's took 35 minutes through downtown traffic, and I kept checking my phone at red lights for updates. My mom texted once to say he was stable, but unconscious. My Aunt Diane texted asking if I was coming and I replied that I was almost there. When I finally found parking and ran through the hospital entrance, the smell of antiseptic and floor cleaner hit me like a wall. I found his room on the 4th floor, room 428, and my mom was standing outside talking to a doctor in a white coat. She saw me, and her face did something I'd never seen before. This crumpling motion like she was trying to hold herself together and failing. He's awake but he can't talk, she said. The stroke affected his speech center. They don't know if it'll come back. I pushed past her into the room, and there he was. My grandfather, who'd always been so loud and opinionated and full of stories, just lying there with tubes running into his arms and a breathing mask on his face. He saw me, and his eyes got wet immediately. Full story is linked below or on my channel.